How are you? I think you're still muted.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Hey, Karen.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Volume. How long are you able to be with us, Sydney?
I'm going to stay on for a few minutes to give updates and see if anybody has any specific questions. And then I need to head off. Hey, Randy, I'm supposed to be, I don't know, cloning myself. I'm supposed to be on the Commission for New Hampshire Public School Funding tonight, too. I'll stick with all of you for a bit.
I see your cape flying in the breeze.
Cloning would be a good superpower these days.
Mm-hmm.
Last minute dinner guidance.
I'll go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. I am going to head off because I'm supposed to be at another meeting at the same time. I'm going to hand over co-host to Kristen when I have to go, but there are probably two big updates that everybody's got on their mind. We have been notified that there are 2 positive cases in the Lebanon School District, one at the middle school and one at the high school. Randy and Karen, as parents, did you get the bright arrow from me this afternoon?
Yes, we did.
So basically, I don't have any new information. We don't have any knowledge at all at this point of any direct contact to GVS. However, it is possible, probably likely, that some Grantham parents of middle or high school students will be contacted to say that they have been in close contact with one of the 2 students who have tested positive. One of the things I really want to emphasize is that there's really no guarantee that DHHS is going to call me directly with those close contacts. And of course, I'm in communication with Dr. Roberts in Lebanon, and she and I have been keeping in touch all day. But just as a precaution, if you are contacted as a close contact, I would really appreciate it if you contact either me or Karen Islander to just let us know, especially if there are younger siblings at GVS. It's just going to kind of help us make sure that we are prepared in case we have to do any of our own tracing. So we do appreciate that, and thank you in advance. Kristen, I know that you recently went through a contact tracing experience yourself, so I'm sure that you can probably speak to how important it is for parents to be a part of all of this happening.
It's very important, and very important to keep the school in the loop. What I found out in our situation was the state kind of is doing their own thing, and they're busy and they have a lot going on. But part of that was not maybe including the school in what was going on. So the school, in our case, Sunapee, was unaware that some kids were being quarantined because the state never let them know. So the communication is key.
Yep, thank you. So Middle Lebanon is moving to remote instruction. I have no knowledge that would cause me to make a change at GVS at this point. So unless you hear otherwise, we are proceeding as usual. And I thought the other probably big thing that would be on everybody's mind tonight is that the board voted on Tuesday night with a target date. We don't know if it's the actual date, with a target date of November 2nd for GVS to move to a 4-day model, which would be all students in 4 days, keeping Flex Wednesday. So I know you probably have a lot of questions about what that is going to look like and how that's going to happen. I can tell you that we are in the planning stages as we were again in August. And as soon as I have definitive information for you, I'll send it out. But the first thing that you're going to get from me tomorrow in my weekly newsletter is you'll get a whole new commitment form, because I know that some families may decide to make different decisions about if their kids are coming in person or learning remotely as a result of this decision. So we need to confirm exactly who will still be attending GVS and who might need to sign up for VLAX or our AOA in our remote academy. Or as always, you will have the option to homeschool if that's something that you're thinking about right now. So basically we need to redo the form that we sent to you in August, and you'll be getting that new form tomorrow when I send out my newsletter. The first question is it possible to have the option to stay hybrid for individual children? Right now, the answer to that is no, based on teacher instruction. And how, it would be like asking the teachers to run two separate programs within the school. That's where we are right now. Kristen, I don't know if any of the staff have talked about that either, but no, okay. And I know that, sorry?
I was just gonna say, it's still all very fresh.
Yeah.
So.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, so those were the big things I had. Before I hand it over to Kristen and go learn about if the state of New Hampshire might be giving schools more money for adequacy, does anybody have any questions directly for me? All right, Kristen, I'm going to make you the co-host.
Alrighty.
Okay, and if for any reason something comes up where I really need to answer a question or something, just send me a text and I'll come back on.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Going in the other room to get on a different computer.
Okay, it says I am the co-host now.
Awesome. Have a great night, everybody, and there'll be a lot more information to follow. Thanks.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks.
So Randy, do you want to start with kind of chatting about technology?
Sure, I can do that. Things are going pretty well, I think, just from a tech standpoint. Overall, most of the things that we're getting are just one-off tech questions that people have about setting things up. The one thing I did want to emphasize with people is we're getting to the point where we're almost into a bit of a routine for people. And that's also true for the students. And so now that they're into a routine, they're all getting relaxed and they're starting to test boundaries a little bit with what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to remind parents to help us out by reminding your kids about the key things of being good digital citizens, which is, we emphasize staying safe, respectful, responsible all the time. But what that really means for them, just on a practical basis for you, is they should be asking permission to get online when they go online. When they do, they should only be going to places that are just right for them, not off necessarily to games or to things that maybe older siblings might be involved in. So the other thing is they also need to only talk online to people that they know in the real world. This is especially important when they're going into places like games. There's an awful lot of online games these days where it's multiplayer, multi-role. There's a lot of strangers sometimes that can creep into these games. And it's important that if they are in that type of a situation, that there's an adult around who's monitoring what they're doing and who they're interacting with, that sort of thing. The other thing that you need to be aware of too is just that the students, if they come across something that's scary or inappropriate or not age level for them, what we tell them is tell an adult right away, so that they can help them to get through it and understand it, and that you're aware that's something maybe that they shouldn't have seen, they've come across. And so that's another important thing for you to keep in mind as a parent when your kids are spending this much time online. The final thing I'll remind everyone about too is that the devices that we send home and the accounts that we give the students are truly intended to be educational devices. They're not really intended for them to use to socialize with each other outside of school. They're also not intended to be gaming platforms at home or places for kids to just kind of go off wherever on the internet. So those are really designed to support the curriculum that we're teaching here through GVS, and everything the parent can do to help us with that would be really much appreciated. And the last thing I'll mention is it's sort of a corollary to that, is that because those are school devices, we do monitor what's happening on them, even when they're in the home. So, you know, we're tracking history. We have the ability to kind of see what they're doing on their desktop during the school hours that should be schoolwork, that sort of thing. So we do have some resources available for parents for talking to your students and your kids online. There's a nice pamphlet that's up on the website. If you go under For Parents, I think it's the last item there that says talking, you know, to your kids about being online. And that's a great resource, talks all about, you know, the sorts of things you need to look out for and things you can talk to your kids about. So that's really the main message I had for everybody this week is keep an eye on what your kids are doing online. It's important.
Thanks, Randy. So that was our technology safety, right? Now, how about our physical safety and health, Karen?
I have two things just to talk about. As always, I think the back to school self-assessment, I'm still having to make phone calls or send emails, trying to track down parents to fill out the assessment. I've even started the older kids. I will pull them out of class to ask them the questions if it's not done ahead of time. So if you don't want them missing class, fill it out. Thank you. The other thing is, if anybody's known me for any length of time, I usually don't send kids or have kids stay home for any minor symptoms, except for this year, my hands are tied. If you have any cold-like symptoms, a runny nose, sore throat, any one symptom, New Hampshire regulates that we have to have you COVID tested or the kids COVID tested. So I'm sorry, my hands are tied. It's the state rules. So we're starting to see a lot of colds, and a lot of parents are kind of upset that I'm sending them 1 or 2 times so far this school year to get COVID tested, and I'm sorry, I can't do anything about it. So, but yay, we get to have the kids back. I'm super happy to have all the kids back in November, so that should be lots of fun. See all their faces together.
Thanks, Karen. I guess, and then from my standpoint, so we are getting better and better at this school year every day. Just today, one of the teachers said that they really felt like things were smooth and going really well. We began with a scheduling committee today, looking at moving forward to going 4 days per week. And tomorrow I'll be working with a room allocation committee. And the meetings aren't done this week. We'll be working into the next couple of weeks to make sure that we have schedules that work, and with the staffing that we have, and rooms that will allow us to do 6-foot distancing. And then the only other thing I have really is reminding everyone that communication really is the key to our success as a team, as a family school team. And no matter what model we're in, whether we're hybrid or whether we're fully in, please, if you have an issue with something happening in your child's classroom, or if your child's struggling with something, reach out to the classroom teacher, because without reaching out to the classroom teacher, they don't know and they can't help. So I think that's a plea from all the teachers, is if there's any kind of issue, please reach out so that you can work together to solve that problem. And I think that's all I had. So we'll open it up, and feel free to ask questions in the Q&A or the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them. How will bus seats be prioritized? Right now, my understanding is we are okay for distancing in bus, but in all honesty, again, this is really fresh and new, and I haven't had time to talk to the busing company. I just know from talking to Brenda that as of right now, we could still be okay with the buses and the kids that will need to be taking the bus. But we'll have more information as that moves forward and we get commitments. I do feel like we should have the Jeopardy song.
So how was the game today?
It was fun. It was good. It was cold. I didn't go home and change my clothes, so I was like wrapped up in a blanket. And Sunapee won, so that was always good.
Yay. What we need to do is have like the little what is it, romper room or something, the little spyglass. I see. Name all the names. Oop, there we go.
Oh, we got some stuff. In the event more families go fully remote, will the school expand their distance learning? I think I need more clarification what that means, expand distance learning. Unless Randy or Karen, do you understand what that means?
I think they might be asking whether we would be doing basically a remote being run by the GVS teachers as opposed to VLAX and AOA. I think that's what they're going at. And I think that if Sydney were here, I think she'd be talking about the percentages of students who would be going remote. I think that was the criteria before with hybrid. I'm not certain what it would have to do with if we were going 4 days, how that would go.
Yeah, we haven't had that discussion, so I'm not sure that we can answer that very well. So, but I would agree with Randy. I know that with the last round, it was based on a percentage. So that's something that we can bring forward and ask Sydney. And then I signed on late. Will the remote day remain Wednesday? Yes, we're going to keep Wednesday as the remote day.
You're welcome.
Wait, there's something in the chat. Oh, thank you, Randy.
Sorry,
Thank you, Randy. So I wrote that down to have that conversation. And I'm sure that's a conversation that we will be having anyway as we get commitment letters back. What's for dinner tonight, Karen?
Bless you. I don't know. It was like Mexican rice, something or other. I meant to take a chicken out of the freezer, out of the deep freeze, but I forgot. So all we had was ground beef that was thawed.
And it's getting sneezed on.
Oh, here we go. If you do have pre-existing conditions, let me know ahead of time. I guess that should have gone with my first stock.
And then is there any update on the rapid COVID testing?
No, the state, I'm waiting for the state to get They got the packets or whatever. They've sent them out to hospitals first, and then hopefully eventually we'll get them. I don't know. It's the state, waiting for the state. They did give us some nice white masks to pass out to the students that Ms. Ballett is going to maybe decorate with the students.
Which would be kind of cool.
That would be real cool. That would be a game changer.
Decorated?
Back to the
Oh,
COVID.
the COVID.
It would be a game changer, I think, but
Yeah, for sure.
Decorating the masks would be a game changer also.
I think it would be really fun. A great art project. That is very 2020.
my wreath for the front door that I made out of toilet paper rolls is gone. Or it disintegrated in the wind and rain lately.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Made that back in March. It's a little
That's funny though. What is GVS doing for the staff that rated their social emotional health at concerning or alarming? So we are doing constant check-ins. We, to be honest with you, a lot of the concerning and alarming, people are stressed. It's really based on stress. And to be honest, it's very similar to what we're seeing globally. It's COVID fatigue. We're definitely trying to help each other out. We're doing check-ins. We are doing coverage for each other. Unfortunately, in terms of within the building, the job still needs to be done. But we are trying to help each other out and give each other breaks and whatnot. Would you two agree with that? But thank you for asking. And then we always have, for people who want it, that we do have outside resources that we share. So we'll give it another minute and see if anything else comes up. A minute can be a long time. Okay, if nothing else is coming up, I'm gonna again just really recommend that if anything does come up, whether it be something that Randy, Karen, or I can answer, or Sydney, or if it's something that the teachers need to know about or you'd like them to know about, please reach out because we're available for you. And other than that, have a great night. So we'll sign off. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you later.
Good night.